How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you another Rurouni Kenshin 2023 episode review. Today's episode is episode 22, Resurrection of the Wolf. Before I go any further, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this. If you feel so inclined to support me even further, my Patreon is in the description below. It's finally time for the character that I've been waiting for all of probably 22 episodes, right there with Aoshi Shinomori, Saito Hajime, based on an actual person in history, in Japanese history, from the Shinsengumi, Saito Hajime. He's going by Goro Fujita in this period right now. I'll explain that in a moment. That's our boy right there, Saito Hajime. Apparently, we open up with a flashback, which is actually a dream / memory from Kenshin while he's out with Yahiko and Kaoru. And of course, him dreaming of the old days of the Bakumatsu has him speaking a bit more, and is a bit of an omen. We get a great, instead of Mr. Narrator telling us, we get our boy Kenshin himself to tell us. I didn't write something down in my notes. I have to put this in bold because that is important. Okay, so let's talk about the Shinsengumi. Originally, they were made up of swordsmen from the Tama era, right? And they were the shogunate Kyoto's defense. Back then, swordsmen fought on their own, one-on-one, right? And as a result, Kyoto turned into a bloodbath. So they used their blades to protect the peace of Kyoto. They had a red banner with the character for sincerity on it. They have pale blue jackets with jagged white stripes, something you can see in the Yakuza game that heavily focuses around the Shinsengumi. The Shinsengumi are... See, when we romanticize Japan and swordsmanship, because, it's the same way we romanticize gunslingers from the old Wild West, it's interesting because the Shinsengumi were cops. They were cops. And a lot of them were assholes. So quite a bit were bad people. But then you have some of the heroes, some of the ones who are seen in a better light, such as the strict Saito Hajime or Okita Soji. Now, those of you who play Fate Go or know anything about Fate Stay Night or Fate Zero, Fate anything, with their dibbling and dabbling within historical characters, either changing them into beasts or, gender swapping them into women, Okita Soji, who is essentially another saber, Arturia Pendragon, another saber. I greatly enjoyed how Fate did I did a redo event where they had Okita Soji and Saito Hajime in it, because Okita Soji is known as the strongest swordsman of the Shinsengumi, and the only person that could rival him was Saito Hajime, my boy here, that perfect a-hole. Now, Kenshin explains to us that excellent swordsmanship and fighting spirit that doesn't fear death, that is what is instilled in these people. And they're called the Wolves of Mibu. They made all of Kyoto tremble in fear. Now, they end up being defeated by modern weaponry, guns, flintlocks, things like that. And they slowly disappeared into the flow of time. And I love the fact that when he says this, we see all these Shinsengumi captains, all these guys. We see Saito right there, right side at the top. And it feels like all these guys feel like main characters of an anime that has not been made. And the greatest and they were the greatest and likely strongest final and likely they were the greatest, strongest, and likely the final great group of swordsmen in Japanese history. Now, Kaoru had heard that they usually ganged up on people, and she thought that was kind of unfair. But Kenshin goes, well, your top priority is preserving the peace. You not really think about a fair fight. And it's interesting, right? Interesting how Kenshin's speaking about them, but we'll get to it in a second. We're still doing a lore dump here. He said even though, they would fight together, there was individual differences in their strength. Like officer classes, especially the ones that were engaging in actual combat, were super strong, especially the captains of units 1, 2, and 3. You can guess who was part of one of those captains. Actually, Saito Hajime was the captain of the third unit of the Shinsengumi. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Kenshin admits that he's fought all of them one on one and wasn't able to settle the score with any of them. I love this lore. It immediately, this is how immediately this puts Saito on the level with Kenshin. Not above, not below, right there side by side. A character that he's had clashes with and has not beaten. Now, apparently, he heard that a lot of them had died already. So, and then this is where we get Guy. Remember, I said he's speaking pretty fondly to these people. Yahiko even says that, well, weren't you guys enemies? You see him in a good light. And he says, well, yeah, they were, but I have no personal grudges towards them. We had different circumstances, and there's really no difference in the two of them, the two groups fighting and putting their lives and convictions on their blades. And he says he actually feels closer to them than any revolutionary warrior that's currently in a government post today. Such a this moment here, just starting off with that is fantastic. You instantly give us a history lesson, not just of the show's fictional Japan era, but of an actual thing that happened in Japan history. And you give it by a character that was supposedly there already. Very, very cool. Excuse me, very, very, very cool. But of course, uh, he's going by Goro Fujita because, well, he's not a Bakamatsu anymore, and they technically lost, and he's just trying to file in, right? Our guy Saito initially goes looking for Kenshin at the dojo. He appears as a medicine vendor in front of Sano. And I love how Sano calls him out. He's like, yeah, your eyes are pretty slanted. He's like, well, I was born with them. He's like, yeah, but were you born with those calluses on your hands? Medicine vendors wouldn't have calluses from practicing with bamboo swords. And those eyes open up. He had like Brock from Pokemon eyes. And those eyes open up. Anytime you have a character who initially has narrow eyes and the eyes open, Majin Buu, for example. So Majin Buu is another character. Tommy Rod from what is that show from Toriko? Characters that do that, instantly frightening, instantly menacing with their strength. And we get a moment that's kind of so disrespectful to Sano. It's not even funny. Um, did I skip it already? Oh, I accidentally skipped it. I accidentally skipped it in my notes. But the funny moment, darn it. Oh, darn it. The funny moment is when he realizes that one, he knows who Sanosuke is. Two, he knows who Kenshin is. Sanosuke goes in and punches him, and Saito goes, "Yeah, it's a pretty good punch you got there. You pretty, yeah, yeah, indicative of one that's called a Street Fighter." But see, that's definitely a Meiji era punch. A punch like that wouldn't have gotten you far in the Bakamatsu era. It just goes in for the attack. And you know what? We're gonna fast forward to when. No, we won't fast forward. We'll go back here. Obviously, he attacked him, and when they all get back, there's a hole in the wall. He's on the floor with a broken sword. And Megumi ends up meeting them along the way because she has today and the next day off. So she's wants to spend some time with her people. And they find him, and Kenshin knows who done it because the medicine box guy had they call it umbrella, but it's like a triangle, a not closed triangle with a circle underneath, which he said that was what the Shinsengumi used as disguises when they were trying to infiltrate and spy. We get almost the closure of a dangling participle. Remember Jine Kuragasa when he was hired by someone to kill all these officials? We find out that person's name is Shibumi, who hired Saito Hajime to take care of Battosai the Manslayer, knowing that Saito is a sworn nemesis of him. Shinsengumi versus Revolutionary Warrior. This guy is also flanked by a person named Akamatsu, which, if my Japanese is correct, I feel like that's redwood tree. I feel like I got to look it up later. I do a little bit of writing myself, and I remember using that name at one point in time. But I digress. Um, Saito is now an assistant inspector with the Metropolitan Sword Police. So he's going, I got to go and do my other job. Someone gets suspicious when Homeboy calls in the geishas. And we find that this is the guy. Now, why is he doing it? Saito was asking, he's like, but why would you want to assassinate Kenshin or should I say, assassinate Himura Batosai when he relinquished any type of title to be a Rurouni? And of course, the big dude with all the stitches on his face, Akamatsu, was like, you asking too many questions. And I love how Saito's being subservient. I'm not really spoiling anything, but it's just the guy. Guy looks too cool to be like, oh yes, sir, yes, no. This has to be an act. And he apologizes and leaves. And it's very interesting because then you got this guy Shibumi who goes, the former wolves have no fangs now. They're working for me now. The one guy is working for me. Okay. And we get another moment where Saito is met by Akamatsu, who's trying to pressure him, like, look, if you're gonna do the job, hurry up, because I was supposed to do it and you were brought in. And he goes, well, I'd rather get a small sum for half a job than a large sum for a risky job. He basically tells him, look, Kenshin, I've let all these clues for Himura to think it was me. I even sent him a letter of invitation to battle. You can go do the rest. And that's easily how he got to win over this guy who didn't trust him, because I guess the guy still wants to get paid. He was goading him. Akamatsu was goading him, going, hey, hurry up and finish and die or something if you're not gonna, actually do it. And he just seems so smart. It's so smart how he did this. And gets the guy to go off. He has a very modest soba soup meal and finishes, but he's smirking the whole time. Now, when we go back to Kenshin, everyone tending to Sanosuke, what happened there? It's been 3 days. He doesn't wake up, but Kenshin analyzes. He's like, he knows who did the attack. He knows it was Saito based on the fact that the sword attack was parallel with the ground, a technique from the Shinsengumi called Hirazuki. Saito is a master of the left hand single Hirazuki strike. It's called a Gototsu. We even get, after he tells us this, we get the flashback of what we could have seen earlier of him attacking Sanosuke, stabbing him. Didn't stab him on the left side of the heart, stabbed him on the right side, and plowed him through the dojo and just spinning around with this broken blade. Kenshin also has doubts on if he can finish him because obviously Saito's skills haven't waned, but he's using the Sakabato. When he slashes the wall really fast, it does do damage, but it doesn't cut the wall down because this is a reverse blade. Now, he does get that invitation, and he doesn't tell Yahiko, who was telling Kenshin that Kaoru wanted him to get tofu. He's like, I gotta take care of an errand. I'll be back later. And even later, we see Saito creeping upon Yahiko, so who can only know what that means. But when Kenshin obviously gets to the place for that fated duel, is Akamatsu. He is easily faster than Akamatsu. He breaks the dude's chain. He's using a signaling chain. The guy's like, oh, I can see you, Battosai, on my left. And Kenshin's like, yeah, did you see my after image? I love how he mocks some of his opponents. Guy goes, I see you. You see me. You see me. You saw an after image, but I don't even think I was moving that fast. Such good shit talk. I love it. Now, when Kenshin realizes this guy's a nobody, wondering why Hajime will even send this guy, he tells him, wash your hands of this and get out. And I love that he doesn't believe this guy when he says, why are you here? Well, he forced me to. I don't believe you. Just wash your hands and leave. All right. You don't know what you're messing with. When Kenshin tries to leave, the guy almost wraps his neck, but he kind of blocks it a bit. He got the arm neck action here, got the arm here. He's getting tossed around like Loki in Avengers 1 by Hulk. We know he's gonna make it out of this. I'm just wondering what other dastardly plans Saito has warmed up for him, given that he's following Yahiko with the tub of tofu. Also, Sano has now woken up. Kaoru was trying to give Megumi, time to take a bath and just chill, because I love the other interaction that Megumi had with Kaoru when she's like, no, foxy spinster ladies here. And she goes, I tend to all your wounds for free. You know you're not going to turn me away, which, yeah, she does. And she's doing work on the boy Sanosuke. So I'm pretty sure he's probably going to wake up after everything has happened. There's no way he's not going to. I wonder if this is going to rock his confidence. He does have a very specific arc that happens before Kyoto arc, but I wonder if this is going to shake him to the core. All in all, this episode was not bad. I've been waiting to see Saito for a bit. You guys have heard me gush about this character. It's him, Shino, and Kenshin. Those are our big three. I guess if you would compare them to Yu Yu Hakusho, wink. I guess you would call Sanosuke Kuwabara minus the spirit sword. Fun stuff. Gets this one in particular gets a 4 from me. It's not super spectacular. I haven't seen a particular thing I want to see yet, but not average. Much better than what was last week's episode. You see how bad that is when I don't remember the week before? It was the flashback, right? It was a flashback. Actually, last week's was better than 2 weeks ago, but this was definitely better than that first part, and this is better than the second part. It's Saito, it's lessons, it's a 4 out of 5. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Cannot wait for Saito to do that. Do the technique, boy. I can't wait. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Please do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of more reviews just like this, everybody. And please, if you feel it in your heart, you want to support me a little bit more, my Patreon is in that description below. Well, above all other things, be good, be blessed. Wash those hands, all right? Drink you some water. It's the holiday season, so happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, happy Ramadan, which I'm pretty sure I missed already, but happy all of those things. Happy winter solstice to you. Please, be good, be blessed. Be good to yourselves, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk, all right? Make sure you're staying safe out there and don't be a bully. It's the season of giving. Remember, there are people out there that care about you, because this can be a rough time on folks. But I can guarantee that there are people out there that care about you, that love you, that would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. So reach out to someone. In addition to that Patreon, my social medias are down there as well. So give me a follow, send me a message. I'll get to you as soon as I can. Just don't be a jerk, and yeah, everything will be fine. Yeah. So until next time. Pretty sure I'm going to try to get that episode 23 up sometime. Well, this is Sunday now, so try to get it up between now and Monday, because I need to see what happened next. I got to. I can't leave myself waiting. Until next time, guys. Oro